84% of customers say being treated like a person and not a number is key to winning their business. 63% of customers expect companies to provide new products and new services faster than ever before. Customer expectations are high, and technology is evolving at a breakneck pace. At Photo Day, we saw a need to improve the Picture Day experience for parents, for studios, and for pro labs. You see, well, this has been a big project, a huge project. And today I'm going to share with you everything that I've learned along the way about customer experience. We're going to begin at the end and tell the story of happy customers and them sharing with families. So let's talk reviews. Why are reviews so essential today? Well, they make your brand visible through SEO. They build trust. They expand your reach. 2/3 of online shoppers believe online reviews are an essential part of the decision-making process. They boost your sales. They give customers a voice and a chance for you to respond. We are more likely to make a purchase if the people around us, even in the online world, agree that it's a good decision. Let's talk about the platform where you're sending customers to place orders. The first rule of thumb is to make sure that it's mobile friendly. Mobile is everything when it comes to online and e-commerce sales today. And you want to be comfortable with the process. If you haven't tried it yourself, then you're not going to be able to support it really well. So make sure you test out whatever platform you decide to sell your images on. Also, it's all about how they access their photos. So accessing photos needs to be simple, whether it's through email, whether it's through texting, whether it's through the organization or social media or all of those outlets. You want to make sure how they find their photographs is easy. How they find the galleries where their photographs are is easy for them. Albert Einstein famously said, "Any darn fool can make something complex. It takes a genius to make something simple." So the question is, how do we achieve these results? I'm here to tell you the first key to meeting customer expectations is to make the entire process as simple as possible. Not just for you, but more importantly, your customers and the organizations where you're servicing. So you want it to be completely simple with as few steps as possible. And the key word here is frictionless, not contactless, frictionless communication and ordering. We went to a Picture Day this past fall, Northwest Fall Ball. We got a call maybe 3 weeks prior to the date they wanted to book. And we kind of did this as a favor for a local photographer. And basically the question that I was being asked is, we need a Picture Day date. What can you guys do for me? I'm used to getting all this stuff. I need magnets and buttons that I can sell for a fundraiser. We want to do it opening day. We want a team scheduled every 10 minutes, all the typical demands. So this league, they've never had a studio do any sort of online sales. And when I say online sales, I don't mean online prepay, go somewhere, buy a package. online. I mean online sales as you're being presented with the images first and then the products and packages, which is the 100% online sales and marketing method that customers expect today in the online world. I immediately was talking to the league president and I'm like, okay, so you're used to all these things that way, the way that parents don't get to see images first, that they have to line up at a sales table and fill out the order form first, that they don't get a choice of the expression or the pose, even which team picture their kid looks the best in. If there's 12, 15 kids and coaches in a team photo, we typically in the past have culled that down to one good image to put on the memory mate. So parents have really never been given that option. So what you're asking me for is all these free things and these plaques and everything, but it doesn't really jive in the picture day that I want to provide your league today. So she was basically like, well, tell me what you got. Like, how are you going to do it different? Like, piqued her interest. So I explained to her the process. I said, well, we're going to take some really, really great photos and we're going to give parents a ton of different options. And it doesn't have to be just one child in the photo. We can do buddy photos, we can do sibling photos. Hey, if mom and dad are there, we can do family photos. If the coaches have a kid on that team, we can do coach and kid photos. It doesn't matter because this process, parents are going to get to pick from a variety of images first before they decide which packages and products they want. So she was just like, wow, that's amazing. What else? Tell me more. Like, how are we going to keep track of all of this? The teams have to come in a certain order. How is all this going to work? And I said it's real simple, right? So we're going to make an access code, a code that everyone pulls out their cell phone and texts to our short code, which is 9073. And what that does is immediately connects them to the gallery. And she was like, okay, well, my parents are already used to that because before they can even come on the field to play, we have a QR code set up and they have to pull out their phone, take a photo of the QR code, it takes them to a COVID waiver page and they have to fill out this waiver before they can even get on the field. Not waiver, symptom checker, before they even get on the field. So they're already used to pulling out the phone and doing that. So it's like, great, so we'll just go ahead and put another QR code in that spot or near that spot that links them to the gallery. So she's like, that's awesome. And I said, yeah. And then when we're done editing all these photos and they publish, then parents are gonna have an option and they get to pick and choose from whatever they want in the different packages that we offer. And then of course, the more they buy, the more they save, right? That's what everyone expects in an online environment. They're gonna spend a lot of money and then to save a lot of money. So we're gonna do that for them as well, give them what they're used to. And she was like, that's great. So what about my commission? Like, I get some money back. And I said, okay, well, we got that solved too. Because of the level of service we're providing and all these different options, we're gonna do things a little bit differently. And this is gonna help connect parents to the gallery as well as raise some funds for your organization. So what we're gonna do is we're going to put the gallery in what we call advanced pay mode. And advanced pay gives parents an option to buy in, and they don't have to pre-buy a package. What they can do is just buy a credit, or essentially it's a gift card, and it's good towards anything in the store once they see these great images. And we know they're gonna love the images. And if they don't love the images, guess what? We'll just refund the credit, but that's fine. But because they're buying that credit in advance, we're going to give you a portion of that credit. So there's just gonna be simple $10 credits to get them used to it. They've never done this before, and we're gonna give you a portion back of each credit that you sell to each parent. And the minute we publish this gallery, we'll go ahead and send you a check for the commission. For all these credits that you sold, you'll get your check right away for fundraising. That way you can use it. It's a short, compacted season, and you can use the money for the league right away. Well, they loved that idea. They were blown away. There was no more magnets or free plaques and team pictures. We were presenting this more as this is a favor. This is something great for the families. We're at a time right now where We really need to connect with our customer, and we really need to connect with those people that we're serving, and we really need to provide a beneficial service to them. And what better way to bring families together at a time where we're all apart than photography and pictures of their kids having fun or doing something that they love. So that really hit home with the league president I was speaking with, and by the end of the phone call, which took me maybe about 15 minutes, we had a date and she sent a schedule over. So where do we go from here? Well, from here, it's all about communication. Now we have the job, but it's really about how do we connect with the hundreds of families that are our potential customers at that job, at that school, at that league, dance school, whatever you're photographing. How do we connect, right? This is the part that I think so many people struggle with, because you have a gatekeeper that you have to go through to get to all of those families. And there's all different ways you can go about this. But the number one thing that is part of this whole experience is keeping it as simple as possible. So what we did next was we fired off an email, and the email contained everything that the league president needed to just forward on and post it on social media and send it out to their parents. It was packaged up, prepped, and ready to go. So complete in an email form. And it gives them precise and clear instructions. You never want to make this a novel. I mean, I'm talking a couple sentences, because you're gonna lose the reader's attention fairly fast if there's too many instructions, what you're trying to say. I also see a lot of mistakes made where there's too much information being sent out for the first time. You got the schedule, you got this is what's gonna happen, here are the prices, here are the special deals, here's all these things going on, right? And at that point, as a parent, you're reading this and you're like, I just know I have to show up at this day and this time, this is all I'm looking for, and the rest of the information just goes out the window and you're gonna have to regurgitate it anyway the day of picture day, right? So in this communication, that initial communication that the parents see for the first time, you want it simple. It basically has a simple code. They text this code, they connect, and they can make their advance payment or however your sales method is beyond that. But it's a simple one-line communication, make it as easy as possible. So once you connect, and everyone's connected to the gallery, or most of the people are connected to the gallery, there's a little thing you can do between the time that email goes out and the time picture day happens. And it's, we all know, everyone's been talking about this video. Video is so important with communication and how consumers digest information from their mobile devices. This is one thing that we might all be nervous about at first if you've never done it before, but it's so vital to your online presence, online sales, and communication to today's consumer is producing videos. So what you can do next is record yourself or a staff member, if you're not comfortable, talking about the picture day process and what to expect, showing samples of your work. And I'm talking a short, maybe like 1 minute video, 2 minute video at the most, and explaining the process and getting families excited about picture day. You can create a YouTube channel, create your video. You can even just do it with your camera or with an iPhone and go ahead and post it on your YouTube channel and send that out to the league. You're gonna get them excited about picture day, and we're gonna show you a sample of what that video actually looks like.
Hey guys, this is Jay with Smacks Photography. So we've been invited by the volunteers at Northwest Youth Baseball and the team at Photo Day to come take images of your athletes. We're super excited to do it, and I wanted to make a video explaining a little bit about what my company does, what Photo Day does, and how the ordering process will be different this season. Our company is known for taking great images in a volume photography environment, okay? So we're not your typical sports photographer. The images you're gonna get of your athletes are gonna be beautiful. We use a lot of very expensive professional equipment. We get lots of different angles, and the colors are always pop with our photographs. I think you'll be really excited about the product. Photo Day is the technology that we use behind the scenes, okay, for the ordering process. All right, so this season, everything's going to be done without paper. It's going to be done via app or online, so it's a completely paperless system, which is fantastic. So we don't have to worry about exchanging order forms, signing phones for credit cards, or exchanging cash or checks, okay? Everything's done paperlessly, and I'm going to explain why you guys are going to absolutely love it. This is a fundraiser for the league, okay? So how we're going to do it this season is we're going to sell you a $10 credit before picture day, okay? And a large portion of that $10 credit is going to go back to the league, okay? So when you do that prepaid credit, remember that you're helping to support the league, all right? Now, what that qualifies you to do, if your order is $25 or more, you get free shipping, okay? So it's a great deal. Now, you don't have to do that. You can just opt in, and that doesn't cost you any money, so you can still get your photos, all right? All right, so Photo Day. Why are you going to love it? Again, I told you it's paperless, and also you get to look at the images before you buy it, okay? So as a photographer, I love Photo Day because I can take a lot of different images of your athlete. Now, I do it fast, so we stay on time, but I'm going to take an image, a full body image, a close-up image. I'll do a smile. I'll do a game face or a baseball face, whatever you want to call that. I'll put my camera on the ground. I get that angle, go portrait, landscape. So I'm going to get 5 to 10 different images for you to choose from, okay? And you don't have to depend on the photographer, me, to decide which image you like best. You guys get to choose what images on the app or online.
Let's talk about actual picture day and the communication that happens on picture day. So, we wanted to make this really clean, really simple. Again, less is more here. Parents need a clear direction of where they need to go when they show up. So we put signs out. We were kind of far back from the entrance where parents were parking and entering the field. So we put, a big sign out front when they first walk in. We put another sign closer to our picture day setup, and another sign close right in front of the tent. And then, of course, we had the big tent, the tape that goes around with the branded company information, as well as a big banner in the tent, because parents are, we do things out of habit. And if they've done picture day before, they're probably looking for that picture day tent, and they're going to flock right to that tent wherever it is on the field at their picture day time. So as they're walking up is where we had this signage, and it had the QR code, and when they snapped a photo of it with their phone, which they're used to from the COVID checker, it would immediately bring up their text message with the code already in it, and they hit send, and they opted into the gallery. Now, if they made an advance pay credit purchase already prior to their arrival, they didn't have to check in. They could go and get right in the line. Name of the game here is connecting people to the gallery. So they're gonna wanna see the pictures later, and trust me, it's a lot harder to communicate after the fact than it is when you're right there. So, and I also know that there are some instances like school photography, preschool photography, high school sports. There are some types of events where you're not lucky enough to have the parents there, and we'll talk a little bit about that, email communication and how you can get connected with them in different ways. But if you're lucky enough to be at an event when parents are there, go ahead and take advantage of having them opt in and making that credit purchase prior to getting in line to have their photo taken. It kind of replaces what that paper order form used to do. So once they did that, they hopped in line, they had their photo taken, and then the picture day experience on picture day, instead of piles of paper forms and I forgot my form, can I get another form, writing out checks, swiping credit cards, counting cash, giving change, it really just turned into hyping parents up, hyping the kids up. The kids that were nervous to have photos taken, that table that we used to have order forms all over the place, we replaced that with candy, lollipops, because those little kids, they get nervous in front of the camera. They need a little bit of bribery, and if they get some candy in the end, they know if they get in line, get their photo taken, and they can walk around the side and have a sweet treat, they're more inclined to do so, to that candy bribe us parents do. So during picture day, while they were in line and having photos taken, we had some music. Of course, it was like Kids Bop, friendly. If you're playing music during picture day, you want to make sure it's appropriate for kids, but it also kind of lightens the mood. People are nervous to have their photo taken. People are nervous to get in front of a camera in general. So anything that you can do during the picture day experience to lighten the mood. I've heard stories of studios having mascots at their picture day to even do this, but we had just some simple music, and it kind of gets everyone pumped up before they get in front of the camera. So once they get in front of the camera, because your process, this online sales, image just means everything. You are really selling images. When we talk about creating images for an online world, there's a lot that goes into it. You got multiple poses, you got multiple expressions, you have different looks, whether you're doing traditional or some kind of knockout composited images, and then you have a variety of subjects within the images. So there's a lot of possibilities and things that you can create. And in the online sales world, image is your inventory. Those images are your inventory, and that inventory, the more you have, the more sales you're going to make. And that's a great way to look at it. But what you don't want to do is, when you're thinking about multiple poses in a high-paced environment, is really rush through the process and not get enough different types of images or different looks. I'm talking about if you pose a kid with a bat over his shoulder and then you tell him to smile and then you tell him not to smile or make a game face. That's not really that different, right? So you really want to switch it up. But the reason you can do this a lot faster is because you're not worrying about writing the image numbers down anymore and keeping track on those paper forms. So it gives you the opportunity to really focus on your customer's experience and treat each and every customer individually on picture day, not as a group, not as we used to do it before. And that really kind of starts to bring it all together because they've had fun, they were excited, they love having their photo taken, and you just kind of went with that and helped them be comfortable in front of the camera and get those great expressions. And then once they get out of line, once all their photos are done and you did any group photos or buddy photos or anything, it's done. They go home because you're just going to simply send them a message, whether it's email, whether it's text, however you had them opt into picture day. In this case, it was text messaging. We're going to send them a message when the photos are done being edited. And a lot of parents will ask, well, how long does that take? And I always like to say maybe a week or two. It gives you time to edit, but here's where it gives you, this is what it really gives you time to do. Not just post-processing, it gives you time to kind of leak a little bit more teasers, whether it's through video, whether it's through some social media on the league or the school's page, or wherever you can do it, to kind of show and give them a little bit of a teaser on what's to come. Because first reason, not everyone might have bought an advance pay credit or have bought into picture day, but they might have had their photo taken, right? Because you're doing online, you're photographing everyone. So it gives you that opportunity to get more buy-ins and get people excited, keep them hanging, because now they're like, wow, look at these great images that I'm gonna get. But it also keeps connecting them to your gallery after the fact. You're building a relationship using this connection that you created at the beginning, and you're continuing to build on that relationship. So you want to make multiple touches, and this is just another touch to keep them engaged in the product that you're about to sell them, right? So another quick video will show you an example of that, of what that looks like to keep them engaged and keep them excited.
Hey guys, this is Jay. I just want to let you know I'm almost done editing your photos. I'm not sure if you can see or not. Let's see. There's Karina finishing up the photos from Northwest Youth Baseball. So we're super excited about posting them. We're gonna let them go around 1 p.m. tomorrow. Okay. So remember, you can still do an advance pay credit, so that way you're gonna get your free shipping. All right. And remember that advance pay credit, that $10 is going back to the league. So it's a fundraiser. You still have opportunity to support the league, to go ahead and get that advanced pay credit. I promise all the photos are going to look fantastic. You guys are going to be really excited. So tomorrow, 1 p.m., and if you haven't opted in, it's NWYB20. NWYB20, that gets you opted in, and it'll give you the opportunity to do the advanced pay credit. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Since Advance Pay was a fundraiser for this organization, that video and the extra time we're taking between picture day and publishing the gallery is also extra time for our league president to communicate with the parents to get some additional credit sales to add to her fundraising pot, right? So that video also buys us time. Not only does it engage the parents, it helps the league continue to raise funds until we publish. Because once we publish, the fundraiser is over, and then we're back to just selling the photos online. for the parents. First impressions matter here because it all begins with that first impression, whether it's your Google reviews when they type in your company name and they're reading reviews on what people have said and their experience has been with your company and your products and your services, whether it's your website. When they go to your website, it should be simple, it should be clean, it should be to the point. Who are you, what do you do, and what am I buying, right? So it should just be simple. It should be, from the demo gallery. You should have a demo gallery set up and ready to go so they can see, if you're talking to new organizations, schools, preschools, there should be a demo gallery you can send your potential organization to where they can see your entire process. They can see images in that gallery that you've created and captured, just all different variety of images. You don't want to limit your marketing to, hey, I'm marketing to a preschool, so I'm only going to show preschool stuff. Yes, you want to show preschool stuff, but you also want to show a variety of stuff that your studio offers, whether it's business portraits, family portraits, dance school photography, youth league stuff, action. Put a lot of different samples in your gallery because you never know who you're sending there and who you're going to attract. So you might be pitching to a preschool director. However, that preschool director might also be the president of the youth league, and they might love your services and love your photography. But if you limit your marketing, if you limit that entire experience to just one thing, one channel, that's all you're going to get out of it. So you want to show a variety of images in your sample/demo gallery, and that gallery should also have maybe like a generic price sheet. Something, when we say price sheet, we say like a gallery full of packages and products that you offer, a variety of different stuff. Remember, when you're selling this experience, this online experience, you are selling your images first. So the packages and the products, that's not going to matter as much as the images that you're creating and showing off in the gallery. When you start to shift that focus, you really start to reprogram how volume photography has been done all these years, because you're getting your customer excited about what they're truly buying from you. And what they're buying from you is not an 8x10. It's not a magnet. They're buying the images that you're creating. So you kind of flip that mentality around in this atmosphere. More importantly, you have to be comfortable and confident with the entire process. If you're trying something new for the first time, if you just recently decided to jump into online sales and you're going for it and you got a league coming up or a school coming up next week, you have to make sure you're comfortable in the process, because if you're not comfortable, if you're confused, you're most likely going to confuse your contact, the organization, and they're most likely going to confuse all the potential customers coming to your store. So to be comfortable and confident in the process means try it yourself. Try it yourself as a customer. Pretend you're the parent on the other side of things and walk through the entire process. Cannot say this enough. I see this mistake all the time. Is you gotta be comfortable in the process. Always remember, you're here to make this entire experience fun and exciting. You're creating memories for families and friends, for future generations to reflect back on. This is part of the experience that you're actually creating. The images that they're purchasing from you, these professional images, are going to be on their walls, on their coffee tables, magnets hanging on the fridge, passed around through multiple family members and possibly friends. But these are memories that you're creating for them. So that is what you're focusing on when you're selling. Not the prints, not the products, not the money. Your initial pitch, this whole experience begins with what you really love. So here are the 5 key takeaways for today. Number 1, UX is everything. That means the platform, the commerce that you're using, the website that you're selling your images on needs to be as user-friendly and as simple as possible. Remember guys, less is more here, and make sure it's mobile friendly. They have to be able to check out. If it's confusing, if it's hard, especially on a mobile device, it's going to limit your sales and frustrate that end customer's experience. Number 2, frictionless, not contactless. I want to remember this word. Frictionless means the least amount of steps to get from point A to point B, to get the customer into a place where they can view their images and check out all the way. You don't want them to go through a ton of steps to get there. So think frictionless, not contactless necessarily. Number 3, the photography must meet the demand of what you're asking people to buy it for. And what I mean for that is that this photographer might sell an 8x10 for $20, and their photography might look amazing. And then this photographer might sell an 8x10 for $20, but the image might look like something that I could take on my cell phone, on my iPhone, in portrait mode, and that the parent can replicate that easy. So when you're pricing your packages and your products in your store, make sure whatever you're pricing it for meets the demand of the type of images that you're creating. So if you're compositing and doing all this great stuff to the images, those images are going to hold a little bit higher value than something shot on camera flash traditionally with a natural background. So you want to make sure you're pricing yourself right and not pricing yourself out of the park. Number 4, you want to make sure that your mass communication channels are in order. You got different ways to communicate with all of these people, contacts, your potential customers. So number 1, text messaging. Always, always, always have your customer opt in to receive text messages from you. If you're new to text marketing, this is a really good rule to follow. You never want to become the spammer. So always ask them to opt in to receive text communication from your studio. That way they know what to expect, they know who they're connecting to, and they look out for your messages. Social, make sure you have a good social channel, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, combination of both. Create your Facebook page, have recent images on there, show who you are as a studio, as a person. Capture those images that you're creating, put them online, have people engage your social media channels. They have to know that you know what you're doing, and you gotta begin to build that trust, and you can use the social outlet to spread the word and communicate once you have that established. Reviews. We'll go back to reviews. Reviews are so important, and they don't just happen naturally, especially at first. If you're new to this, you're going to have to solicit reviews. Ask your customers to review their experience, whether it's in your Google, leave you a Google review, leave you a Facebook review, ask for reviews. So make sure in your overall marketing plan and your emails that you've collected during this process, you can reach back out to the customers and ask for them to leave you a review. We see all different types of clever ways to collect reviews, like get a free social media image if you leave a review. Leave me, just asking for a review about the experience so you can start building that. Now, after you have a lot of reviews, more and more will continue to happen, but you have to start somewhere, and that's just simply by asking your customers to leave you a review. And then email. I always like to say email when all else fails, but sometimes it's the only thing that we have. And the reason I say that use email when all else fails is because me personally, I have 30,000 unread emails in my personal email box, and I only check it when somebody's sending me an email that I know about. So constantly receiving emails. It could go to my promotions, it could go to my spam, who knows? So I always say emails as a last resort, but emails are also important, especially when you're connecting, and that's the only way you connect. When you're doing school photography, preschool photography, sometimes that's the only way to make that connection. But that's always, remember, the second touch, because the first touch is actually going to come from the school, not from you. So the school can tell their parents to look for your emails, and you definitely want that in the communication to kick off that experience. And then last but not least, do what you love and love what you do, because that is why we're here. Don't let the technology, don't let the new learning curve stress you out. Focus on you being a creative and capturing those images for parents to serve your customer, because truly that's what you're there for, and that's the experience that you're creating, is those moments that you're capturing for families and parents everywhere. All right, guys, thanks for watching this presentation today. I hope I inspired you and you got something out of this. If you have any questions whatsoever, if you want to pick my brain, if you want to reach out at any time, you can reach me at lisa@photoday.io. Shoot me an email and I will be expecting your email. Peace out.